Hey everybody, welcome to the first episode of Curling Nation. And damn it. Hey everybody, welcome to Curling Nation episode 1. A casual yet informative look at curling. Today on the podcast, we talk with Rich Ruohonen of the High Performance Program, and the new USCA logo just dropped. Joining us on the podcast is Mike. Mike, who are you?
Hey everybody, I'm Mike McDermid. Been curling for a while. Played down for a while. Don't as much anymore with children, but still real active in the curling community, and just ready to move the sport forward here in the United States. Wake the sleeping giant.
Vietanen, Wisconsin junior curling legend. Saturday night all-star. That's about it for me.
Perfect.
Hey, my name is Craig Brown. I won a couple of men's national championships, a couple junior championships, and played in this high performance program stuff for a while, so I know some of those ins and outs. Now I just want to, talk about curling, the fun stuff.
Hey, this is Garret Perry, club curler. Here to talk about curling and bring it to the masses.
All right. That's right, me. I'm Joel Dietz. I've been around the curling world 20 plus years. I don't know, 20 years or so. Former president of the club, Madison Curling Club. We're all out of Madison. And been around the club a while, won some Bonspiels, lost a whole bunch of games, but here we are. So why are we doing this podcast?
I think we're just doing it to, we needed one in the States. One for us. Because
there already has been a couple in the States.
Yeah, but better ones. Well, a little more chill, a little more casual. Not worrying about, trying to figure out the ins and outs of every little thing. Do we want to have a big conversation about the whole thing? Yeah. Do we have a little more fun while we're doing about it too? Pump the little spiels.
And a lot of times this is pretty much us sitting around the table after a game. And I've always found that entertaining with this group.
Yeah. Because we've all played together at this point.
Yeah, we've all played together. We'll probably get into some real detailed stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably put some people to sleep.
Yep.
But we'll probably tell some fun stories too, and
hopefully educate somebody.
Educate somebody. Maybe help those new clubs along that are coming up. I just saw that a new club is opening today in Colorado. Another new club, Lone Creek or something. I should have gotten the name, but yeah, we want to help out those clubs. We want to help out the new curlers. We'll introduce you guys to who the top level curlers are if you don't know who they are.
And former ones, Craig.
Yeah, and former.
Yeah, that's the object is to bring the thought of curling. We've got some very high-powered people on the panel that can bring some great guests, and it's not all about like the great shot or the perfect game. It's about bringing stories about curling to everybody.
And one of the things about curling in the U.S. that I didn't know is that there's more arena clubs than actual curling clubs in the U.S. Is that still true?
I wouldn't doubt it.
Right now?
I didn't know that, but that's a fun stat. Wow.
Something we're going to find out, and we're
Going to find out.
Yeah.
Tune in.
Next podcast.
Yeah. I was told that at a USCA members assembly meeting a couple years ago, that there are more arena clubs in the U.S. than dedicated facilities, which is great. The sport's growing. But while I was at the meeting, one of the things I noticed was that a lot of the questions being asked were ones that I knew or knew how to get access to. With being in a fairly big club like Madison, we take some of this knowledge that we have for granted because we just came into the sport and came into the club, and the structure is already there. So hopefully we can share some of that by what we know and by who we can find out the information from.
Yeah.
I think, something that I'm looking forward to with this show is we're going to get into a little bit of the competitive stuff, but we're not just going to be dealing with Bonspiel results or national results. We're going to talk about like things that everyday curlers, curling clubs want to deal with, and not just some elite level reporting.
100%.
There's enough news stations out on. It's not our job. we'll say some, but like
Sure.
we got a lot more to cover than just that. We got a lot more experience than just that. We've got,
And we'll have some fun stories in the background. I mean, Brown, you're going to talk about stuff that you've had when you were playing down, and it's not normal.
Brown is married now, and all those stories came before he was married. We don't have to go over any of those stories. They probably actually never happened.
yeah.
Yeah, we should make sure that of the stories that do get told, the names are changed to protect the guilty. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct.
we don't want to get anybody in trouble that doesn't want to get in trouble here. So
Yeah.
We also probably picked the worst time possible to start a curling podcast, in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
when
There aren't going to be a lot of clubs that are opening
not a
this
lot of
year.
clubs open, not a lot of news happening.
If your clubs are
Like it
opening,
up.
we'll have an email address at the end of the show. You can let us know if your club is opening, what you're doing. We'll get the word
So
out.
Ty, what is that email address?
Our email address is curlingnation@curlingnetwork.com.
That's right. So send us your questions there. You can find us. We're gonna have a Facebook page, Twitter @CurlingNation, website curlingnation.curlingnetwork.com. You can. I'm still building out the site, so we'll see what it turns into. But,
Take it easy on us, at least for a couple episodes.
Yeah, no,
Don't.
let us
No,
know.
let us know. Hate mail.
Yeah.
You like it, you don't like it.
You got
let us know.
questions? Find us.
Bring it.
We'll have a good time. We're going to have some good stories. We're going to have some good guests. We're going to have some good insight, if that's what you're looking for. If you got questions or suggestions, let us know. We'll tell you how to do that later. But let's get in our first story. USA Curling. New logo. Big brain stuff, too. They got reasoning for everything on there.
Absolutely.
Just using full big brains.
Well, the previous logo was just a curling house, artsied up a little bit, and
Yeah.
then dare to curl.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure somebody was just like,
I
I got
got
this. Oh, you got one?
You got a pin for that, Craig?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
USA Curling.
All right, Craig. Now the one before that.
I don't know, I got a lot of them. I can't find that one right
That's
now.
okay.
What?
It's all
If
right.
you give me a minute, I'm sure I can.
Okay, keep looking, and we'll fill
You've
fill
only
time.
got like 4,000 curling pins at the store.
We'll fill time.
Don't
All
have
right,
that specific one.
he'll be back.
You
Talk
tell
about-
us the backstory of the logo and what it all means while I look for the other one.
Can we show that
Well-
video? Can you show the video that the USA Curling has?
They just put... That didn't come up the same day, did it?
I don't remember if it did or not.
Anyways, new logo came out, dropped last week. There's a lot of stuff trying to change in the USCA just to give us a better appearance of ourselves, to separate us from the other U.S. Olympic sports. So we got ourselves a new logo.
I like it.
I think it looks great. I think it says exactly what we are because it spells it with letters. But they actually did have some good reasonings behind it. So like on the logo, 4 stars. It says for the 4 teammates on each team that head out onto the ice.
Because the coaches in 5th don't matter.
Yep. Yeah. They don't matter until there's a podium and they get on it. They got the stone in the center facing the
Hey,
right.
5ths get hardware too.
Yeah.
Ask Joe
Joe
Polo
Polo,
what his medal looks like.
Yeah. A stone right facing and forward moving, driven by the pride of a nation. Maybe fishing a little bit on that one,
That-
but you could
that's,
say moving right, fine.
Yeah.
We're real proud until the next Olympics.
Yeah. Outer
In
ring.
which case, we'll still be proud, but might not win gold.
Outer ring is gold for the fuels. The fuel of it.
The
The
fuel,
fuel
of
of getting the gold. Yeah, and then it's a circle in the shape of a house, even though it only has 2 circles in it. But hey, it looks good.
it. Yeah.
And
That's
then
because the outside 12 wins games. Not the 4-foot, not the button.
yeah,
It's the outside 12.
it's outside 12.
Yeah.
Biters win games.
What's-
And then
Hey, hold on, Ty.
Yeah.
What's the? Did you say what the stripes are for yet?
not
No,
yet.
he's getting to it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought I missed that while I was looking for the old logo.
No kidding.
Did you find it?
I found one. It's kind of you got to look in the middle of this guy.
Oh yeah, yep. It's just the old curler. Wait,
Yeah.
Are they
Who
using
is
the
that?
delivery aid?
Does anybody know who it is? It's got to be somebody.
No.
Was there
No.
one? Was there one before that?
It's
or
not
was
like
that...
It's not like Jerry West with the NBA logo. Everybody knows it's Jerry West, but they won't admit to it.
No. Yeah,
So-
so there's another one too. Here, I got all these pins in front of me. This is the original logo.
Oh,
Back.
Nice.
There you go.
Oh,
The country
Wow.
and the
USCA,
Eagle and-
Eagle.
the feathers and yeah.
there you go. We need some
That was
music.
a long time ago.
We need some music. Pin fun time with Brownie.
Yeah. Just show pins.
Man. I got pins. I got pins for days.
All right.
What are the
So,
stripes?
All right.
What are the stripes for, Ty?
Tell me about these stripes.
so on their description of it, it says the 11 red and white stripes, the unmistakable symbolism of the country that we represent from grassroots to podium. But isn't there more to that? Isn't it based off the?
I thought it-
So yeah, I was really confused when I read that the first time. So I read it and then I didn't see the video.
Yeah. Doesn't the video say that it is part of the
It's like our 11
The 11
associations?
regions.
associations.
The,
Yeah.
The 11
Region.
different regions.
Oh,
regions.
regions.
Our
There you
11
go.
regions.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Our regions. Right.
Regional
There we go.
associations.
There you go.
Yeah.
And
So
right.
a lot of the states have their own associations, but then there's different like what's it?
The
Mo-
West.
Yeah.
Mopac.
Northeast, New
Yeah.
York,
Which is
Minnesota,
No,
Wisconsin.
no.
No, it's
Grand
not right.
National.
There you go.
GNCC.
Grand National.
Which is
GLVA.
most of the which is sorry, Craig. Grand National is most of the West Coast, East Coast,
East.
East Coast.
East.
Grand
most of the
National's East Coast.
Yeah.
So you got
Keep going,
Grand
Craig.
National, Great Lakes.
Great
now
Lakes,
I
which
think
is
Illinois
like
is moved.
Michigan and Ohio, right?
Michigan, Ohio, and Illinois is now part of that, I believe.
Okay.
Really?
Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota. Then there's like
Alaska.
Alaska, Mopac,
Colorado.
which is like Mountain Pacific. I think
Yeah.
Washington still has their own.
Okay.
Then there's like one in the middle of the country, which is, I don't know if that's like Great Plains or something along those lines. Anyways, add them all up, and I guess I can see 11 of them.
Yeah,
happening.
but the problem that I had with it was the unmistakable symbolism of the country that we represent, and that made me think, but our flag has 13.
Yeah.
And so they didn't explain that very well on this explanation when they first dropped it, but
Right.
video does a better
The
job.
video does a
The
better
video
job.
does, but
Anyways, I'll give it an 8.3 out of 10.
Ooh.
They could have done better. It does look good, but yeah, it's definitely going to catch some 45-year-olds more than it is going to catch us rowdy young 20-year-old kids.
speak for yourself. At times.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my take. I like it. I like it. My initial thought when I looked at it was I looked at the stars and I think about like Brazil's soccer logo, and the stars are for their championships. And I was trying to figure out which 4 championships, world championships, gold medals, whatever we won. and I didn't come up with 4.
So we got one
But
person
then
who
we
watches
got
soccer.
the Dean. Then we got well, fine. We got one guy. Hey, I like it. I said I like it. I was confused about the stars until I saw the video, and then it makes sense.
Yep.
But it's clean.
I think I
like
can
it.
come up with 4.
I like it because it's clean. Okay, do it.
Somerville.
So Bud Somerville won a world championship,
Yeah.
and Bob Nichols won a world championship,
Okay.
and
Debbie
McCormick won a world championship, and Schuster won a gold medal.
All
now
right.
there was a couple.
What about
there's a couple
senior worlds? Seniors, Walton.
Okay. Hey, look.
We're not going to count juniors and seniors, I think.
No, Terry.
Look,
no.
I
If you're
should have
going to
added.
go with the Brazil championship over your crest because
the
of how many
flaunting.
World Cups you've won.
Look,
Yeah,
I'm a
but I
big dumb
think it's-
animal. I should have added that to my. I should have
You
added.
are.
But watch the video. It says the 4 stars are for the 4 players on the sheet.
I get it, but I hadn't seen the video first. My initial,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
snap
So
reaction
watch
was.
the video.
I saw the video like
Watch
3
the
days
video.
after. I didn't even
My
know it
snap
posted.
reaction was, why are there only 11 stripes, and what 4 championships did they win? And then I saw the video,
Right,
and it
and-
makes a lot of sense, and I like it. It's clean. I think it's sharp.
Yep.
It's a good logo. I'm
Yeah.
just confused
it's clean,
right away.
It's
Out of
it's
the gate, I
not
was confused.
flashy.
Shocker.
yeah. It's
And the
not
brand-
flashy.
And the brand new logo made it onto that NASCAR.
It did.
Did.
It's
They
a.
made it onto a NASCAR? I
Yeah,
didn't see
so-
that.
It's
Did-
on the. It's on a.
It's on the
The trunk.
trunk lid.
It's on the trunk lid of a car.
Who
I don't-
paid for it? Was it the U.S.
Not
Olympic
trunk
I
Committee?
don't know,
lid.
but
Probably
that's
US
Trunk
expensive.
lid. It was on the trunk lid.
I'm guessing USOC because it was on there with a whole bunch of other Olympic sports.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
they just it was
Whose
like
car
big-
was it?
I don't know. I think it was like
Toyota?
98.
I don't know. A fast one?
Yeah, I think it was 98.
I don't know. If
Was
we
it
have a
Toyota?
NASCAR fan out there, email the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you could
Yeah.
email the show and let us know.
Might
It's
have
my
been a
new
Toyota
favorite.
'cause we
Yeah.
have
It was the Toyota
sponsor.
Camry.
Well, there's like 6 guys that probably drive Toyota Camrys.
Was it a 1989 Toyota Camry? Maroonish? Because that's
well-
what I drove. It had like 345,000 miles on it.
Hey, that Camry is probably still going somewhere.
It might be.
And I'm
but-
currently driving a 2002. So.
Toyota Camry?
Oh yeah. Still
Nice.
going.
This
podcast is gonna-
246,000 miles.
This podcast is going to last another 10 years. And
That's
you're gonna be
great.
like, I drive a 2002 Camry.
Yes, it is.
That's great. Toyota's a sponsor of USA Curling. That's nice.
Yeah, we're being nice to them.
Yeah, sure we are. Lots of free
What I,
pub.
what I like,
Yeah.
what I like
Uh,
about the logo is there was intention. They actually,
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
the previous logos, there wasn't really like a rollout. They really didn't explain it as much. Boom.
It just
They
changed.
just like put a logo down. Here they actually hired a marketing firm that says, okay, what's curling about? And there was actually a team that came together and said, okay, what do you want to show? What do you want to say about your curling society? And so, boom, 11, boom, 4, boom. All those things came together. A marketing group came together and actually made an integral, unified logo that really expresses what curling's about to us. So that's why I like it. It's simple. It's easy. It's viewable. You can do it on totally a zillion different medias. A hat, a T-shirt, name it.
A
So
growler.
that's why I like it.
As we'll
A
see,
growler. Sure.
as we'll see later on the show, there's a growler, there's a
Yeah.
hat.
I mean, I feel like at this point they'd be silly not to put it on a mask.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to go in a mask, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Who knows? Maybe
So
the
I
I think
think
HP.
it's good. You know,
Go Brown.
I think it shows that they are, trying to they're trying to make some changes moving forward. They're trying to, I don't know. I like it. I think it's a good looking logo. It's not I don't know. I mean, it's not the flashiest thing in the world, but that's not what
It's
I'm
not the statement
necessarily looking
Curling's
for in a
making.
logo. I mean, yeah, I'm happen to be sporting a Cubs hat, which is not exactly flashy, but it's
Or
I like
good.
it.
Please email the show and let us know how you feel about the Cubs.
Yeah. Give us your comment.
Go ahead. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Brownie will personally answer all of those emails.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well,
sure.
Anybody else got any more logo thoughts?
No.
I
it's
think
good.
that we're going to hear a little bit more about the logo when we talk to Richie in our interview.
Yeah, so let's head it over to Richie. Welcome. Thank you for coming on today.
Thanks. It's an honor to be the first guest.
Hello.
Yeah, it's such an honor to
Yeah.
have you.
Don't stink.
Yeah. So Richie's the two-time national champion. Is that right? And the current winner of the 2020 Goldline US Open in Blaine over the Young Bucks. How'd that game go?
That was pretty easy, actually. They didn't put up much of a fight.
And coming up on the
Like
next
usual,
podcast is the Young Bucks to refute.
Let's bring in our second guest,
Yeah,
Corey
second
Dropkin,
guy.
everybody.
Corey Dropkin, welcome to the show.
It should have been over in 5, but I missed a really easy shot, and then I made a good one in 7, and it was over. So it really, we did really control the game. So it was, we played pretty well that game. Andrew's been a great addition. He throws the rock really solid, so doesn't miss a lot. So that's really nice. He's been a great addition to our team.
Craig, would you say that him missing the easy ones and only making the hard ones was a common theme when you guys played together?
First year, Richie made everything. Hard ones, easy ones, whatever. After that, man, it's like a different dude out there. Year
Just a
2,
roller coaster.
Year 3, year 4, gray hair, I mean, no, I'm giving you a hard time, Rich. So, can you talk about a little bit about what it was like curling in the whole COVID situation with masks and what other protocols did they have to use for the spiel?
Yeah, that was. I think John Benton ran the spiel, so I think he did a pretty good job overall. It was a little bit, when teams were like, we came dressed. We had to come dressed. There's no locker rooms, so you just changed. We changed at my house basically, and then went there because I live about 8 miles away from the club. And they took your temperature when you walked in. The only thing was there wasn't really enough room to stretch because you're having 12 teams, so 48 people. And if you know where Blaine is, they had the hallway in front of the bathrooms and that just open area when you walk in, and that was the only place. So that got a little crowded. That was if I was going to give them some suggestions, I would tell them to open up by the hockey arena or something where people can spread out a little bit more, or open that back room where they have the food. They have the food and stuff, but
Stagger the start times.
yeah, do that by 10 minutes maybe even. Yeah, because that was the only part that was a little suspect. We had one sweeper, and that was the other sweeper could walk along kind of on the side and help with you got to go or what the times were. So, but everybody wore masks obviously. We they cleaned the rocks with Clorox wipes. They had all that available. They had hand sanitizer everywhere. So overall, I mean, and we, obviously we're, curling's big at shaking hands before and after the game, and everybody was just kind of clicking brooms. That was basically the protocol. One sweeper was the main huge difference, obviously, from a curling perspective. But you could sweep. I know some spiels were talking about, the other skip can't sweep behind the tee line when their rock's coming down, but we didn't have that. We were able to do that. That was really it. But overall, it was pretty well run. I think we weren't ever worried about. I mean, you had to be You want to be careful, obviously, and we didn't. A lot of people didn't stay afterwards. They just left right away, because they want to, congregate. And there was a lot less people watching, obviously, than normal, because that spiel, the bar is usually pretty packed.
So with the skips, did they just have any rules specifically for the skips in the house, or was it just the two skips on your own? Just figure it out. Just don't come that close.
Right. That's kind of what it was. I mean, people were, keeping their distance. Like sometimes you might walk right up behind a skip and watch a shot or something. People were just staying back by the boards. So most people were pretty cognizant of, trying to stay away from each other. And, if a rock was for sure going through, you're not running up to sweep it and get right by their sweepers. And so, I mean, overall, I think it was pretty good. And then when people were walking down the sides of the sheets, if you saw someone coming, you wouldn't just keep walking and walk by them. You'd usually wait till the rock went down and then move over and or try to stay on the wall side if you were on one of the wall sheets. And so people were pretty good about all that stuff. We weren't standing like a lot of times. We all know each other, so you just be standing on the by the hog line talking to the team on the other sheet. That wasn't really happening. So.
Were you playing?
That's about it, really. That's normal.
Were you playing on all sheets, or was there any spacing between the events?
No, it was all sheets because they had, I think it was 13 men's teams and it was a triple, and then they had, I can't remember how many women's teams, but it was like 10 or something. So they pretty much with a triple there was occasionally a sheet that was just empty. And they tried to put that in more in the middle, so there would be some space, but there wasn't like a purposeful, hey, every other sheet or anything. So,
was it as loud as a normal draw? As much yelling?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we had masks on. I don't think people were being more quiet or anything. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty. It was pretty similar. I wasn't yelling any less, and I got a loud voice and a loud mouth. As Craig
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a mask isn't going to hinder you at all on that.
Rich,
yeah, it really wasn't much.
You said something about.
Did you have any
Go ahead, Brownie.
Did you have any miscommunications because the sweepers couldn't see your mouth? Or was that an issue? Was there teams that were having problems because they, maybe they'd hear a yell, but they wouldn't know if it was from you because they didn't see you doing anything?
I think that did happen a few times, actually, because we started, they wanted, my team was like, where I think it would happen is when we're saying, sweep to make it curl or to go straight. So curl or straight, they sometimes didn't know what sheet it was coming from. And usually, so I started kind of putting out my hand to the side when I was yelling to the side that if I wanted to curl, I'd be like, curl, curl, and so I'd kind of do that because I do think sometimes the other sweepers looking at your face, and if they see you kind of going crazy, they know to sweep, and it is a little bit different for sure. But that definitely happened a few times. Sometimes it happens in curling in general where the other sheet is yelling anyway and people are sweeping. You're like, that's not me. And then you start going, whoa. But it definitely happened a few times because my guys were like, hey, can you put up a hand just to be sure? And so I was trying to do that.
Rich,
to bring back the Goodland team that had the headphones and did you guys hear that story? We need to bring that back.
Oh, I used to play against them when they had the Brownie, and I've seen it for sure. They used to have the headphones and
yeah,
they had headphones.
They just talk real there was no yelling. You played against them. They'd just have conversations because they all had headsets on. But that got banned back in I don't know. It's a long time ago that they weren't able to do that.
Goodland told me that.
Garrett, go ahead. Garrett?
No, just Goodland said he was a quiet talker, so he could never get his point across. So he came up with the invention of the headphones. So
there you go. Yeah, Rich, you talked about. I thought you said something about additional events. Do you guys have stuff coming up, or are you thinking about doing other things, or did you just plan this because it was close to home? What's your schedule look like if you've got one?
Yeah, we are. I am running an event in 2 weeks at Chaska, so not this weekend, but the next weekend with just 6 of the high performance teams. So we invited the 3 guys teams and the 3 ladies teams. So Schuster turned us down, so we grabbed Luke Violet, who's the under 20 team. And we were going to play some scrimmages anyway, so we just decided to try to get 6 teams, play a round robin, and then we're just going to do, after the round robin, 1's going to play 2 and 3's going to play 4 and 5's going to play 6 at the end based on the seeding of the round robin. And just so we can get 6 games in, we couldn't get the whole Chaska club. I think they were expecting us to be out curling, and not there on the weekend. They have a lot of demand for their own members to come in and play. So I think we've been spending a lot of time there, and I think we're using a lot of ice. So we were able to get 3 sheets for the weekend, but they have a lot of stuff going on too. Like they're booked Sunday afternoon, they're booked Saturday mornings, they got league Friday nights. So we ended up having to play 2 games Friday in the afternoon and 3 on Saturday from, like 12 to 8, and then 1 game Sunday morning really quick. And they helped us, and we worked around their schedule as much as we could. So we are having that event. And then I think Phil Drobnik is going to have Eveleth on December, I think it's the 11th, whatever that weekend is. So we are going to play in that. And then I did hear rumors that, St. Paul usually has their October 5th-ish kind of like last weekend. They would have their cash spiel. And then Regan and Todd have taken that over, Burr. And so it's been the Lupus cash spiel. And Lupus really, I think, can tie their name to an event that might have COVID implications. So they kind of just decided to let it go. And my understanding is
that's
some
probably
teams,
smart.
some teams are trying to get that together. Like some of the junior teams, Tuma and Ruben Harris is their coach, and they're trying to see if they can get an event in the weekend before Thanksgiving. So that's good for people to know, because they want to see if St. Paul will approve it. In fact, I think they were meeting with the board like tonight or last night or something to see if they could make that work. So that may be advertised soon as a possible event, but that's really all we got unless you're playing mixed doubles. There's a Blaine event like November 13th in mixed doubles.
Yeah, so this is going to be recorded now, but it's going to be released next week. So that'll be the Chaska event is October 16th through the 18th. Should be a good time. It's going to be streamed online. I think the USCA YouTube channel is where it's going to be.
Yeah, I guess USA Curling has a YouTube channel. It'll be streamed on that, and then I think Jerry Gertz is going to pick it up too through Curling Zone after that. So they'll hopefully, people can, if they want to watch curling, it'd be great. And there'll be some, I think they're going to have some announcers, and Joel's going to be involved here. So hopefully it goes off well, because that's kind of all you can really do this year, is just have a couple events and maybe get a little bit of streaming. Like, I don't know if any of you watched the Kitchener event last weekend, but there was some games streamed on that, and I think they had pretty good, a pretty fair amount of people watching. So I think people want to see it.
Yeah, because they didn't get through that event. They didn't get through the whole event. They shut down.
Yeah, just missed the men's finals. Yeah, the women's finals. The women's finals got in, and then I think the men's. I thought they just missed the finals, but maybe the semis.
I don't think they got. I think they had to call it off right at the quarters, if I remember.
Oh, was
right.
that the quarters even? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they had.
I'm not sure they had a quarters.
Hmm.
Okay,
there was only like
just
12 teams, so I think they had a semi and a final, and I feel like they canceled both of those, but I'm not positive about it.
So they were using.
I'm pretty sure they
phone
did not play
tracer.
the playoffs, whatever they were.
Yeah. So they were using contact tracing apps on their phones. Are you guys using those for U.S. events?
I know nothing about contact tracing in the United States. We need to work on it a little bit, in case you guys haven't seen the news.
Let's keep politics out of this. Yeah, keep politics out of this. Richie, come on. We're just talking curling.
All right, but I think it's a good idea. I mean, my understanding is they have an app that will ping you if you have been exposed to someone who's tested positive, and one of the players on one of the men's teams that was in the final, whatever, the semifinals or whatever, got a notice that they had been exposed. So they quarantined that person immediately. And apparently they had an agreement that if this happened, they would stop. Everybody would stop. So my understanding is they're going to try to see if they can get these 4 teams together in a couple of weeks and play off the playoff, So, but they do have some sort of app that follows you. It lets you, they know the exposure and who you've been next to it's supposed to work. I mean, they're doing a pretty good job up there.
Is that how?
Of course, they have
government
like 5
functions?
people in the country.
Okay, nope. Yeah.
Snark. Snark.
Not even through the first episode. We always got to bring up politics.
That's what you'll get on the Curling Nation.
You know what really grinds my gear?
a little snark, a little comedy. That's what we've got it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's just alienate like a good 40% of the population right off the bat.
This is Angry Ty here.
Yeah.
Here to complain about things.
Yeah.
Rich, you're our first guest. Do you want to tell us about the other guys on your team? We're probably trying to
Sure.
pull in some noobs to the curling scene, so they might not know who all the HP curlers are and who's on your team.
So our third is Andrew Stopera, who you guys might know is from New York. There's a
He's a
few
good
things
player.
bad about him. He's a Giants fan and a Yankees fan, which is really tough to deal with. But other
That's
than that,
terrible.
he's a pretty good kid.
Sorry that you have to deal with
Yeah.
that, Rich.
Yeah, and but no, he throws the rock real well. He moved here now, so he is living with Mark Fenner, who is on Corey Dropkin's team. For those of you that don't know, so they're and he's not working, and of course Colin Huffin's my second, and he's not working either. So all they do is throw and work out every day. So it's a good gig if you can get it.
That is exactly what.
and-
At least they
is to
at least
look
they
out
don't
for.
live at your house and drink your beer.
Well, Colin does.
Colin does.
Colin lives at my house.
I was just
I
gonna-
thought he had
Right here.
moved
He
out.
doesn't drink a lot. No.
No.
No,
pretty fit.
He,
I was just gonna
he left
ask
for
if,
a while.
Brownie, go ahead.
I was just going to ask if Colin took this when she went off to college, and now you've got 2 kids again.
Yeah, basically, I told Hannah he was probably going to take her bedroom since she's gone away at college.
He's
but,
got his own
he's down
room
in
now?
the basement.
He's still down.
Yeah,
still
he's got his own
downstairs?
room in the basement.
He's got his own room. Does he buy his
Yeah,
own
it's,
groceries?
Yeah.
I shouldn't pick on him. He's
if
gonna
I
beat the
turned
tar
around-
out of me.
Here, this is Colin's basement. He's got his drugs all over here, all his vitamins. He's kind of trashed. He lives down here. He is up north at Crane Lake with our coach Pete, painting some cabin up north to make a little extra money. So he's actually working for a living for the first time in about 6 months. So, but
There you go.
yeah. So anyway, Colin's our second. He lives with me, and he is going to move back to Seattle. His girlfriend got a job there with Microsoft, a really good job. Erin, if you guys know her. So,
She's
but
very
he's
nice.
going to.
Yep.
Yes, she's great lady. And then he is going to live here for like a month, go back there for a couple weeks, live here for a month. So that's how we're doing it for the next year, off and on, depending on the curling events and what's going on. And then we have Croy Nurnberger, who's from your neck of the woods, guys. He is on our team as well, from Madison, and he does not live with me, but occasionally on the weekends. So, and then
Well,
Phil
Richie,
Tilker.
the same could be said about me with
Yeah,
the lupus
story.
skill.
yeah. Most people live here in
Yeah.
the basement.
I think everybody's lived at Richie's house for at least a couple nights at some point.
That's true. And then Phil Tilker from Seattle. So he is the other person on our team. So he was here this weekend. We had a practice weekend this last weekend where we spent about 8-10 hours on the ice. So it was a good weekend. Everybody was here and we had a good time. So that's about it. That's my team.
How do you figure out who plays, or is it just whoever's available when you guys have an event, or does USA Curling have a say in that at all?
I guess our coach has a say in it. Pete Annis. I should mention Pete. He's our coach. He used to play with me and Brownie. He went to Worlds with me and Brownie in 2008. I think it was Brownie. So Pete's our coach. he probably has a say in the end once we get to nationals and stuff. But right now, Colin's going to be gone for if the St. Paul thing happens. Phil did not make the last one, so I think we are going to have 5 people at the next one in Chaska. So we just kind of rotate, usually through the front end, frankly, and Andrew and I usually play. So that's kind of how it's been working, and we just got to figure out what the best lineup is, and probably run with it. It's a tough thing with 5 men. We've all had those teams. So it is a little tougher, but in a COVID year especially, man, you never know. One of you gets sick, or for a while the Tilker wasn't traveling. Obviously, Croy can drive here, although Wisconsin's pretty much on fire too. So we don't know. Croy scares me a little bit. But no, it's Croy can drive here, so that's made it pretty easy. And then it's all about whether you can fly or not, I guess, and how bad what the risk is, right? So we're gonna have to play it by ear and hope no one gets sick, and hopefully we can have 5 guys there when it counts.
Got it.
Richie, what do you think the biggest difference is?
Garrett,
What do you think the biggest difference is? Curling regularly to curling in this COVID situation.
Well, I think,
or is it there's no difference?
I mean, well, curling in a spiel, the difference is the mass and stuff. But I mean, if you're just talking, I think you're probably the better question is in general. Like, it's just we're not traveling every weekend. I've probably thrown more rocks than I ever have in my life, because when you play on a weekend, you might throw 4 to 6 games worth, and you're throwing 16 rocks a game. And now we're throwing 4 times plus a week, and might throw 50, 60 rocks in a session. You know what I mean? So a lot more practicing, especially with Andrew and Colin living here. We've been practicing a lot. I mean, we practice every weekend, a couple hours a day, and during the week, and they've been practicing like every morning at 9 o'clock sharp, like 3-4 days a week. So I think we're just throwing a lot of rocks, which has been helpful. Like, we're getting to know, especially when you got a new guy on your team, just really working on throwing it kind of similar, so that you're taking the same broom and excuse me, and things like that. So just that has been the biggest difference, is being around home, not being gone 3 weekends a month, or whatever. So a lot more just throwing rocks, and a lot more of the working on the psychological part of the game, which I probably need a lot of help with. So but no, I've been working hard on that too. So a lot more of that part of it too, being able to watch past games, being able to read a couple books that might help you, or podcasts, and a lot more. We've been doing a lot more of this kind of stuff, where you're on a Zoom call with your team, talking about things and going through things. And I've also given I gave a strategy session to the juniors this weekend, and
Lord help them.
Oh boy.
I know, they're screwed now. They're not going to know what the hell to do.
Yeah.
That was a good play. It
But
just extended your career.
Exactly. That was part of the point.
Well done. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Rich,
I mean, people call you dumb all the time, but you're not dumb. I know. You're not.
Pretty smart.
So, is your wife Sherry a little disappointed that you're around all the time, or she cool with it too?
Yeah, it's been rough. She's not used to this. I'm usually gone like about 15 days a month in the winters, so she doesn't know what to do. And Hannah's not here anymore to talk to her, so and Nichols is gone all the time playing football and hockey, and so sometimes she has to actually talk to me. It's kind of sad for her. So, but she's getting used to it. She claims it's not that bad, but I don't know.
I don't buy it.
I don't either. That's why she wants Colin living here, probably.
yeah. Rich, talk about how
A
you
lot
got
better
into
guy to
curling.
look at it. How we got into curling?
How
Well,
did-
my
how did
dad
you-
curled? So my dad is, yeah.
Yeah,
My
go ahead,
dad
son.
curled, so he's from Gilbert, which some of you might know. It's by Eveleth in Virginia on the range up there by Curl Masabi. It's about 5 miles from Curl Masabi, and he curled up there, and then he came down here and curled in Hardin Hills, and then started curling in St. Paul. And so I would go down on Saturday mornings in St. Paul. They had a pretty good junior program, and started curling, and then started playing competitively in juniors, and then about, I don't know, I'm pretty old, so that was almost 40 years ago, 38 years ago. So, and then just kept playing competitively. I took a couple of years off during law school, or just 1 year almost completely off, and 1 year just part-time, and then I went back into it pretty full since then, and that's been since 90, maybe 6. So quite a while at hardcore curling, I guess. Some years less than others, but overall, playing a lot for 20 some years. I'm surprised I can still walk.
Me too. Okay, so Rich, we've got a couple of questions that we're going to ask all of our guests, and so I'll start. What, other than your home club, what is your favorite club to play at, anywhere in the world?
Oh, anywhere in the world. I thought you meant let me see. What I really, the club I like the most, just because the ice is so awesome, is Oakville. That club is just phenomenal, and it's a fun town, great restaurants. And that's in the Toronto area. For those of you that don't know, it's the ice is just phenomenal. 5 feet of curl, 25 plus seconds. 15 and a half hog to hog, almost 16. So super nice town. Stu Sells, who you guys might know, runs those spiels. Great guy. I've had some good times out there, and so good people. I also in town here. I'm a St. Paul guy for 40 years now, but we spend a lot of time in Chaska, and they've done just a great job with that club. I don't know if you guys have been there, but it's fantastic, and I'd recommend it to anybody too. They're all good here, and Blaine's good club too. I'm a lifetime member at Blaine, and at St. Paul, and now we've been practicing in Chaska a lot. So a lot of clubs in Minnesota pretty good too, and hopefully they're building another one
right.
in Egan by Vikings training facility. So
Yeah, hopefully. All right. What is your favorite bond spiel, and why?
well, that's pretty easy. It's got to be the House of Hearts, right? Like, there's nothing better. It's fun time, raising money for a really good cause. So many great people. Pretty big party. But just it's super fun. We just have a great time, and really missed it this year. That's probably the number one spiel. I don't know how you can do any better. I think
We
most
all
of you
missed
guys
it,
here
Rich.
have been there.
We all
Yeah,
missed that spiel
so
this year.
That's the spiel.
Yeah.
Plus,
It
you're
was
raising money
Yeah,
for a
that's a
great
good one.
cause.
It's actually pretty fun
Yeah,
when you don't
yeah,
play
it's-
too.
Not only is it fun, it's actually
Yeah.
like you don't feel like just a bum going out and partying all weekend, because you're doing it for the kids.
It's for the kids.
Uh,
Yeah.
But
So-
you do feel like a bum when you get home, because it's pretty rough for a few days.
Yeah,
Well,
till
the-
about Wednesday
Yeah,
afternoon.
those of
Yeah.
us from Madison have to endure, I think, a 75-hour car ride back. From
That seems
Yeah.
accurate.
Duluth to Madison.
I think
Well,
it's
unless-
75.
unless
yeah.
you drink the whole
70
way
to
back.
75.
Yeah, it is the
All right.
longest car ride. No.
All right. So here's a tough question. So try and just make this one quick, because you could go on forever. But what is your favorite thing about curling?
I think the people. You just get to meet people from all over the world, and they're, they stay your friends. Like, you play people at Worlds, and they still text you and, Facebook you and follow you, and you follow them and cheer on, and just the the U.S. people, they're awesome. Like everybody's, I mean, some of you guys are jerks that are on this thing, but most people are pretty cool. And,
Keep in mind,
but
Rich, I can
seriously, it's just a
edit this
big community.
however I want.
It's just a big community, and like you said, people stay at my house all the time, and I don't mind it. It's cool to see people, and it's just the people are golden most of the time, except Brownie.
Oh, shit. So, I'm going to assume I know the answer to this one. What or who helped you along the way in becoming a better curler? Probably Brownie.
I was pretty good at helping Brownie become a better curler. I know that. He finally won something when he got
And a better person.
No, he won a couple things before that. I mean, I guess, my dad was pretty instrumental early on, bringing me down to curling when I couldn't drive and stuff. And, so I would say I'd have to give my dad that, he's, as most of you guys were talking about, he's pretty well known for his purple stuff. And, he's really was big into curling. In fact, he just got asked to speak at the Cambridge fundraiser. We went there last weekend to raise money for their new room that they're going to put on the end of the warehouse in the fairgrounds where they're at. And so that was cool. And he's just pretty well known, and he's just pushed me through curling, and he's always there, and he's the biggest fan. And so it's been great. That's probably who I would say pushed me, to become a better curler. And Brownie, he helped a little bit.
Right.
Token.
That's what I'm talking about.
That was a token note there.
Yeah, whatever. Shut your pie hole, Mike. All right, and the last question is, what piece of advice would you give to a newer curler looking to improve?
I think the obvious answer is practice. But that's the easy one too, is just to throw more rocks, but I think like some of the thing is just to understand the game. I think a lot of people just go out there and just throw and really don't know why they're doing what they're doing, or why the skip, if their skip has experience, why he or she is calling a certain shot, or why we're sweeping. And so I think just learning to actually know what you're doing out there, and it might sound kind of crazy, but you see it all the time. People have no idea why they're doing what they're doing out there. So I think just, understand the game, maybe watch a little bit of nowadays, when Brownie and I were young, there was no curling on TV. You couldn't learn by watching something. You can, for instance, you can watch anything. You can watch any game that's been played, any of the big games that have been played. They're all on YouTube. And you can also, there's, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but there's this Doug Wilson guy does this daily curling puzzle on Facebook. It's kind of cool. He'll do a strategy, and everybody's, he'll bring a situation up. Everybody kind of looks at it, and then you say what you want. And then a couple days later, he posts the video from a specific game and says, here's what happened. And then you can kind of see how it plays out. So those kind of things are really cool. We never had that when, we were younger. But I think people can learn a lot just from doing little things like that, and actually watching, podcasts. And there's a lot of podcasts on curling that talk about, the delivery and sweeping and strategy and those kind of things. So I think practice is the easy answer, but it's not fully the right answer, probably.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. I think that's a good answer. But I think a lot of the newer curlers probably just don't ask their skip or their third as many questions as they should. I think most of those skips and thirds are willing to discuss or explain. But I think that a lot of people would maybe pick up the rationale and just improve a little quicker if they were willing to initiate those conversations.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. And we play people on league nights, where I play with my league team, and we'll go up after and, have a beer, and we'll sit and talk, and I'll answer any questions that they have. And even when we're on the ice, I'll be like, I wouldn't play that shot. I'd play this. I'm just, trying to teach them a little bit because I think that's how you get better. It's just to kind of know. Like you're like way up and you feel kind of bad. And you're like, hey, I wouldn't play this shot. I'd probably do this, and then you tell them why, and it's cool. So we get asked all the time, just help this guy out, but you're right. I think you just need to ask why we're doing what we're doing and learn a little.
And the best time to ask that question is right when the skip is delivering his rock, right?
Perfect time. Perfect timing.
And you got to make sure you
Why
speak
you-
very
why you
clearly
throw-
and loudly. Like, hey!
And yell, don't be
Hey.
heavy, whatever you do.
What the hell are we doing?
Yeah. Don't be narrow.
I'll tell
Don't be
you
narrow.
later.
Don't be narrow. Don't be narrow.
Yeah, no, like Craig was saying, a lot of people are just scared to ask questions when we all are more than happy to give our opinions and help out, but there's a lot of people that just, it wasn't the way that they did it on TV, so they feel bad. And you realize you're not that person on TV.
Yeah,
Got
the
lost
guys
to
on
learn.
the guys on TV
Yeah, they
have
just
all
wanna-
been playing at least
Yeah,
probably 20, 30 years.
ask questions.
Yeah,
Right,
it's
Richie.
but with younger curlers, they're not as empowered. I mean, all of us in this room have got 20 years plus of curling. I think skips just have to be a little bit more accommodating. Just like you said, Richie, just say, hey, if you got a question, ask me. Just don't ask me on the ice. Ask me in the club room or something like that. But there was a point in time where you couldn't get a word out of some of these skips, and I think that environment's changed. And I think there's a lot more receptivity to teaching and educating than there was before.
For sure.
I think that most of the skips that you couldn't get a word out of in the past was maybe because they didn't know what the hell they were talking about anyways. So they tried to play it off like they were all secretive. But I think most of the guys that I've run into, if you over the years, even when I was a kid, a million years ago, like Rich, I think most of them, if you started asking them questions about strategy or why they did what they did, I don't know. Not many people say no. So
I agree. We had lots of good conversations after games with teams that, like Glenn Howard and Russ back in the day, and they would tell you, if you just asked them, you sat with them, had a beer after, and why'd you play this shot, or they would tell you, like, no problems. So most of the curlers are pretty nice guys when off the ice and on, but sometimes more off.
all right, I got one more question I just made up. If you could have for one weekend any teammate in the whole world, doesn't matter what level of bonspiel you're at, just who is one person that you want to curl some weekend with?
Can he have curled with him already?
Anybody.
Anybody?
Sure.
Okay.
Alive
Nice
or
check.
dead, or alive or dead, or does it not? Do they have to be?
Oh yeah,
alive
sure.
right
Alive
now?
or dead. Alive or
There you
dead.
go. That's a good question.
Wow. You got to give me some time to think about that. Do I want to party with this person or do I want to curl and win?
Probably.
I think you want to
Yes.
qualify your answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to play in a real bonspiel. Like, I mean, you can play in a party spiel. You can do anything you want.
Man, you are just getting it. This is tough.
That's a good question.
Okay, I'll tell you. I have been talking about it for years, and I have never played with Al Hackner. And him and I have been talking about getting together to play for years, and we're always playing against each other. And I've left back when he was still curling, and the guy's super old, and you want to be still
Easy,
alive just
Rich.
barely.
Oh, it did
but
say
no,
alive
we
or
always
dead. We didn't
talked
say
about-
almost dead.
Yeah, we talked about playing so many times. I'd just like to actually play with him sometime. He's such a great guy and knows so much about the game. And the year that
He does, yeah.
he coached when I was playing with Tyler and Chris the first year, he coached our team, and I thought he just knows everything about the game. You ask him anything, and he knows. And he's a great guy. So that would be one person for sure. I mean, a bunch came to mind, but but I know we've talked about it actually. So I'd love to play with them like in the last chance someday.
Fair
Great
enough.
answer.
It's a good choice. I think that would be a pretty popular choice. Now, do you want to play with 1985 Al Hackner or
Ooh.
2020 Al Hackner?
I don't know. I don't know if I could handle 1985 Al Hackner. I
don't think you could.
I'd probably be under the table by 9.
I was gonna say like 1 year retired out of competitive curling, so he's like still sharp, but he's ready to have a good time. Like that's the Al Hackner you want to curl with.
You know, when Al gets in your hotel room at night, you ain't leaving until you're about 10, 15 beers in. So you might as well, you're in for the long haul. So.
Plus, you could probably parlay it into a fishing trip. I think he likes to fish.
Right. And man, the fish he catches, and it's always on Facebook. You're right. Is there a curling fishing bond spiel we can go to? We should probably make one.
Let's make one.
Awesome.
You can make one. Just skip the curling and they'll probably
just go fish.
Yeah. We'll call it the curling fishing bond spiel, and we'll do it in the middle of the summer where there's no club.
That's a really original name, the curling fishing bond spiel.
Or just call
Walker, Minnesota.
Or just call it the
Like
fish
it.
spiel.
All right. Well, thanks, Rich.
One last
you guys
thing,
got anything
Richie.
else?
What is your sponsors?
Oh, thanks. Yeah. Well, of course, TSR Time, my firm. It's TSR Time. We all know that. That's one of our main sponsors. And then Hardline. We're part of the Hardline Nation. Great at Sprooms. Don't tell Croy I said that. Dynasty is one of our sponsors as well. And then we have the USCA sponsors, Thorn Training House. Thorn is like, by the way, Thorn is like a vitamin company and stuff like that. And
Those are the
training
drugs
stuff.
Colin takes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are
Okay.
the drugs that I did show you. Yeah. And then we have the training house in the Twin Cities Orthopedics and Toyota. And then we do have a sponsor named called Endgame, which is also a broom company. You guys know that one in Madison? I think the guy lives there.
We do.
Yeah, they're good brooms.
Yep.
Wait,
Those are our sponsors.
we got one thing we didn't get to yet.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Richie made this fantastic
yeah.
commercial for the new USCA logo. Let's take a look, and then we can pick it apart on the other side.
Hey, Colin, I was just talking to USA Curling on the way home, and they said we have to do a new commercial for their logo or something.
Dude, I can't do a commercial right now. I'm watching Golden Girls. But man, am I thirsty.
Dude, we just got to do it, man. It's not that hard, and it's just the nature of the beast.
I don't know, Rich. Like, I may be wrong on this one, but to me, my idea of the beast doesn't include selling out, man. I don't know, man. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe you're right. It's like people only do things for free stuff, and it's just really sad.
Very Wayne's World
Oh, that's
there,
that's
Rich.
good stuff. That's good stuff.
Yeah, it was very. That's what it was attempted to be. I was surprised. A lot of the people our age know Wayne's World, but a lot of the younger people are like, "Did you guys just come up with that on your own?" I go, "Well, we kind of ripped it off a little bit."
Did you shoot that with your iPhone, or what was the production cost on that, Rich?
It was pretty cheap, and I learned a lot about iMovie. It's super awesome. You can do anything. You can delete you can dub in sound, you can dub in pieces of it. I did another one on the new logos are here. The new logos are here from like the Jerk, but I don't know if we probably can't show that because it's apparently got copyright infringement. I posted it on Facebook and it got taken down right away. So, but yeah, so we learned a lot, Colin and I, about we can dub anything for you guys if you want. Just tell us what you want to do. We learned it all in one night and got it done, and No, but it was pretty. We were trying to think of what we could do because they wanted us to kind of promote the new logo, and I'm like, let's just call it what it is. And I go, remember Wayne's World? And Colin's like, yeah. And so I show him the clip where he goes, the choice of the new generation. Oh, it is a choice of the new generation.
Got
know?
the Doritos and
so,
the Reebok and the
Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Pizza Hut, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So it's got over like almost 1,500 views between my site and the team site, so it's doing pretty well.
Well, yeah, but how many of those views were by you? Like 1,000?
You got me. I just keep playing it. Like, it's pretty funny. I
Do you have
laugh
a
at
bot
it every time. So.
At home that just keeps hitting play.
Sherry, just one more time.
Yeah, one more time, Sherry. She goes, I know all the words by now.
So when you're coming in, you're not wearing shoes, yet you put your keys down.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
you
it's
know
not-
what? I usually take off my shoes right around the corner. I just flip them off, so that's pretty
Okay.
common,
Okay.
actually.
Yeah, that's how I work
That's
too.
what's, and then I
Okay.
put my
All
keys right on that counter.
Got
It's
it.
pretty real, actually.
Yeah.
I can vouch for that.
Okay.
There's a giant pile of shoes right by that door coming in.
I do recall that, yeah. And did you get new cabinets? Those
We
look
did.
nice.
Well, we didn't get new cabinets. We painted everything white. So yeah, you got it down.
Yeah.
We painted everything white. Our cabinets were painted about 3 months ago. So it's brand new. Looks pretty decent. We got some new appliances coming in. So those of you who will stay at my house next time, you'll have a new dishwasher and new fridge and stuff. So it'll be cool. New microwave.
And I really got to point out Colin's slippers. Those are nice.
Yeah, he definitely goes with those a lot around the house. So it's kind of awkward,
Fantastic.
but
Yeah.
those are his favorite thing, man. And he doesn't really go anywhere because most of you know I have this basement garage, and so my
yeah, the
wife's
hockey
like,
room.
well, if
Yeah.
Colin, we had a lot of workout equipment, but not much. But then she's like, well, if Colin's gonna be here, we got to get a whole weightlifting set. And so she bought like a $1,500 set for Colin. And I'm like, okay. So
That's 'cause she
he
loves
never
you
even
more than
leaves our
him.
house now.
Him more than you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
She's just like, I want him to stay.
I can't get a birthday present out of
Yeah.
my mom.
I know. She literally texted me one day and said, hey, we're thinking about, because Nick wants to work out at home too, because he don't know if he can go to school in the school gym. And, we're thinking about getting some workout equipment. I came home that night. She goes, what do you think? And I was in court, or not in court, but in depositions. And I come home and they had it all out and put up. And so I go, I guess my answer didn't really matter if Colin and Nick wanted it. Our two kids.
Perfect.
All right, Which, well, I think that about wraps it up. So thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. It was fun.
Yeah, good luck with
Thanks, Rich.
whatever happens this season. Good luck, man.
Thanks, man. Well, we need it. Hopefully we can get some games in and have and hopefully we have nationals. That's still up in the air, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope so.
All right. Thanks,
All
Rich.
right. Well, hey, thanks very much. And if we if we last more than a season or two, maybe we'll have you back for a second go around.
All right.
And maybe we'll be better at our interviewing by then.
I wish you a happy retirement.
I think this might be your highest rated show actually by the end of it.
I agree, because you're gonna just keep watching it over and over and over.
All right, and that'll wrap it up for this first edition of Curling Nation. Thank you all for joining with us, listening, watching, whatever you're doing. If you want to hit us up on Twitter, we're going to be at Curling Nation. Our website, curlingnation.curlingnetwork.com. Work in progress, but we will have it up for you guys. Podcast is going to be on Spotify, Amazon, Apple. We'll throw it up on YouTube when we get it all cut up, and there's going to be more places to come. Email us at curlingnation@curlingnetwork.com for any questions, suggestions. If you got a spiel coming up, let us know. We'll jump it out there for you. Send us a brochure, your pamphlet, whatever you got. We'll get it out there for you. We're going to have a Facebook coming up soon, and then we'll be able to have more from that. Maybe get an Instagram. Definitely going to get a TikTok for the views. But yeah, thank you all for enjoying us on the first one. We're gonna have some more. All the guys, thank you for coming.
Good curling.
Good curling.
Thanks, all.